Thanks so much for tuning back in and welcome back to another episode on the deep learning series. This video is a follow-up to my previous video wherein I showed you how to do deepfakes on a Macintosh operating system. This updated process is a bit easier than the previous method and also has all the latest updates from the Deepfacelab repo. So let's start the process by installing the required softwares. First we'll start by installing Amphetamine from the App Store. This application will prevent Mac from sleeping automatically. Let us quickly search for this application from the App Store and install it. Now that the Amphetamine is installed, let us open it. Once you open it, you'll be getting an icon for Amphetamine in the taskbar above. Allow that, and you need to click indefinitely to stop a Mac from sleeping automatically. Next we'll be installing Anaconda for Mac OS. We'll be needing the Python 3.7 version. This application makes the process of installing Python dependencies much easier and also helps us to create virtual environments which we'll be using in the process. Let us continue the process by downloading the required files. There are two ways to go for this. The first way involves downloading the torrent I created with all the files required. You can find the magnet in my blog post, for which I'll be leaving the link in the description below. To download a torrent, you'll be needing a torrent client, and I will be leaving the link for that too in the description. For people who like textual based or blog based tutorials, you can check my blog at techphotos.xyz. Downloading torrent takes some time and it depends on the number of people who are seeding, so wait for it to download, and once you have downloaded the torrent, please keep seeding it so it will be helpful for all the other people. Once the torrent is downloaded, open the location or the folder location and just copy it to the documents folder, so it will be easier for you to follow this tutorial. Also rename it so it will be easier for us to navigate through the folders in the terminal. The Deepfacelab folder contains all the project related files and also contains the workspace folder wherein you need to place the videos. By the end of this process, the data_destination videos face will be replaced by the face from the data_src video. So accordingly place your videos in this workspace directory. The second process, where you don't want to download the torrent, you need to download these zip files. I'll be placing the links for these zip files in the description below. Download them and then extract them and keep them aside. Next we'll be needing to open the documents directory and create a deepfakes directory, and then clone the Deepfacelab repo to this directory. Open terminal and then change the directory to the deepfakes directory using the command shown on the screen, and then clone the repo using the command #1 from the description below. Now that the repo is cloned, we'll be needing to copy the extracted folders in the Deepfacelab directory. Follow the on-screen instructions to copy them. Now that the required files are downloaded and copied to the Deepfacelab directory, let us start the process by creating the Conda environment. To create the Conda environment, execute the base_directory command from the description below, and this will change your directory to the Deepfacelab directory. And once you are in the Deepfacelab directory, use the command #2 from the description below to create a Conda environment using the environment.yml file. You can open and check the environments.yml file to see what all dependencies it will be installing. These are all the dependencies that are required for this project to work properly. It will take a lot of time for installing all the dependencies, and once the installation is completed, we'll continue the process. Next we need to edit the bash_profile file. To do that, copy the command and execute bash_profile_edit from the description below. file is open in the terminal, you need to copy and paste the content under the content hash bash profile and then paste it in the terminal and use Ctrl+X to save it. For the changes made to be applied to the terminal, you need to execute command source_bash_profile from the description below. This completes the setting up process, and now we'll be starting the process of deepfaking. Let us now start the process by opening terminal and activate the Conda environment that we created previously. You can find the command to activate the Conda environment in the description below. Use that to activate the Conda environment. And once the Conda environment is activated, we need to change the directory to the base directory. You can find that command in the description below too. And once you're in the base directory, you can start the process. From the base directory, execute command 3 to start extracting the frames from the data_src video. To use the default values, you can press enter when prompted, and the extracted frames can be found in the workspace directory under the data_src folder. Similarly, execute command 4 from the description below to extract frames from the data_dst video. You can check the extracted frames under the respective folder names under the workspace folder. Now that the frames are extracted, we'll be extracting the faces from those frames. Execute command 5 from the description below to extract faces from data_src frames. This is a CPU intensive process. It will take a lot of time to complete, so just wait for it to be done. The extracted faces can be found under the align folder under the data_src folder in the workspace directory. Similarly, execute command 6 to extract faces from the data_dst frames. The next step involves cleaning the dataset. It's quite important that you take extra care while doing this. Go through the align folder in data_dst and data_src folders, and then delete all the images which aren't clear enough, which are blurry. You need to delete them. Also, if there are anything obstructing the faces extracted, delete them too. This helps the model train to be accurate enough, so there will be no problems with the final video created. Now the data is clean enough, we'll be executing command 7 from the description below to start training the model. It will prompt us to give a name for the model, give whatever the name you want to, and then press enter. It is much faster and easier to train a model on a GPU, and as I'm using a 2015 MacBook Pro, it has an old AMD GPU which doesn't support training. For this reason, the whole process of this training is done on the CPU, and it will take a lot more time, so just wait for it to be done. It took around 14 hours for me to train this model, so make sure that Amphetamine is turned to indefinitely, or else your Mac will be sleeping in between and it will stop the training process. You can stop the training process if the loss values which are shown in the terminal is less than 0.45. And also, like, you can judge whether your model is trained properly by looking at the faces in the preview window. If their expressions are matching and are clear enough, you can stop the training process. And also, the more you train, the better the model is trained. Stop training by clicking on the preview window and tapping enter in the keyboard. Now that the model is trained, let us execute the command 8 from the description below, and this will merge the faces over the data_dst frames. For the sake of this video, I'll be using default settings by pressing enter to all the prompts which are being shown. Now the frames are merged. Use command 9 from the description below to merge the frames into a final video. At the end of the process, and if you like this video or this helped you in any manner, do consider buying me a coffee. You can find the link for that in the description below. And for all the people who are buying me a coffee, I'll take extra time to help them in any of the process if they're stuck at. You can find the final results.mp4 file in the workspace directory, and you can check the video now. And special thanks to the developer of Deepfacelab, which is Ipero. You can find his link in the description below too. Also, if you like this video and want to get updates from my channel, do consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much and take care, people.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it! Some people dream of success while you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible! You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not gonna stop there! No! What are you waiting for? Do it!